Now they made it a little bit more simpler, though. I don't know if I prefer it the other way or this way. Yeah, right? Probably this way. But probably those who are interested in doing more to their thing, probably they would have preferred the other way, right? But since I don't use those options, it's like whatever to me. But what's everybody getting themselves into on this fine Wednesday? Hump day. What's good, Mr. Pasa? What's cracking like it, my boy? What's shaking bacon? ¿Qué dice la buena vida? What you getting yourself into on hump day? On this Wednesday? What's the talk of the town? What's the word on the curve? You heard? What's them YouTube streets be saying? Except a whole lot of drama. But ain't nothing new but today. Actually been catching up on some of that, right? I was like, let me see what's happening out there, right? I soaked it up. I was kind of like, I lost a few brain cells. What's good, Derek? What's cracking like it, my boy? What you getting yourself into, carnal? That's right, getting ready to make that Skrilla Illa. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, how do you enroll in therapy? Do they take Medi-Cal, some type of... Yes. Now, there's different ways depending on... There's sometimes that it could be provided to you by, wherever you're working at, right? You would have to ask your HR if, they provide those, right? Because some places do provide that, for their employees, right? And it would actually be best, that way, right? Because, that goes through the company and then they pay and all that, right? But then there's other forms you can look online, right? You can look online to suit your situation better, right? Like what's closest to you, what's more affordable, right? You get to rate stuff out, right? Like, okay, yeah, I could do this, I could do that, right? But there's different, avenues to therapy, right? Depending on what would be best for you. But you can look online, right? And there's, a bunch of ones that will pop up, right? And, whichever one you feel suits you, right? Financially wise and, time and all that. There's some that you can even do, through phone, through FaceTime and stuff like that. Like in this year is like, probably the best years, right? Because, you get to actually see all of that. Not like before where you would have to just, go and you were kind of just stuck, right? And you probably didn't even like when nowadays, right? Like if you don't like the therapist, right? They can switch your therapist and, different stuff like that. So it's actually a pretty good time for all that. Have you seen a clip of Kid Frost was hollering free SPM on the crowd of Texas? Yeah, actually I did. To that I'll say this. Well, he's in Texas, right? So he feel like since he's in Texas and he has raza and he's speaking on raza, he felt like maybe that was the best option for him at the moment, right? Like he's got the crowd of Texas and he knows that Texas, obviously, has a support for SPM, right? So, he tried to make that his best move, right? To go ahead and do that, right? Because being from California, if he was out here in California, he knows he wouldn't have said free SPM, bro. He wouldn't have, right? Because he was gonna get a whole lot of backlash out here, right? And it's really simple breaking down the SPM situation, right? Like it's simple. It's really simple, right? Because, for example, a 9-year-old child saying that this individual molested them, right? The fact that the child created this story, right, being interrogated by police. I don't know if people are aware, but if you tell a 9-year-old a story, right, and like let's say you're the parent and you tell this 9-year-old, make up this story and stick to it, and now that 9-year-old is now being interrogated by a police officer, guess what? That 9-year-old's gonna say, fuck that, my parents told me to say this and that, and they're just not gonna go with the story, bro. They're fucking nerd. That people think that that we're talking about a 9-year-old. They think that this 9-year-old is going to be able to stick to that story and not be nervous when they're being now questioned by police officers. And police officers are telling them, you better not lie and stuff like, bro, that kid is going to break faster than fucking The Flash. So the fact that people are thinking that this child could keep up this story and in court to top it off, right, is outrageous. But not only that, right, but now we have several other people that are accusing SPM. Now, SPM is not a big household name. He was not a Tupac. He was not a Biggie. He was not a Jay-Z, a P. Diddy, none of that. He was SPM. He had a fan base, but he was not known like that. He didn't have... Now, picture this. Imagine these guys didn't even have money like that, right? We're talking about these individuals at the time, right? P. Diddy and all the Jay-Z's and all that, right? So imagine SPM's revenue, right? If people already know that these people over-exaggerated their wealth and what they were making, then only imagine what SPM was making at the time, right? Not even being like a full-blown name out there like that, right? So for people to think that they were in it for his money, like if he had money like that, right? It's crazy in itself, right? If these individuals didn't have money like that, imagine that this fool was going to have money like that, right? So the fact that people would think that they were in it for his money in itself is already, you know, full-blown delusion, right? But the fact that he wasn't a household name like that and having so many people accusing him in itself was going to be rare, right? Because, like I said, his name is not a name that's getting around like that, that were people to come out of the woodworks to try to, you know, accuse him of something like that, right? Why even put anybody through that? Now, even let's say, you know, this child, you know, is making all this stuff up, right? Look at his pattern. The fact that he got a 14-year-old pregnant. And when people read the paperwork, I hate when people say this, when he was like, oh, well, she had a fake ID. He met her at the strip club. That story is fake. Go look it up. Go actually read the paperwork. Go read the actual, you know, stuff, right? When we're talking about SPM, before you want to come to, you know, I know this rumor has been spread over and over and over again, but just because the rumor's been spread over and over and over again doesn't make it true, right? That's not where he met her. And this has actually been confirmed by his own son. His own biological son has confirmed this, right? So the fact that he was picking her up from the middle school, she had a backpack, she looked young and everything like that. But let's just say she lied to him either way, right? Let's say he's full blown, he didn't know. The fact that he was arrested también in a hotel room with two 14-year-old girls while he was on bail, mind you, while he was on bail, he got arrested with two 14-year-olds in a hotel. So he got a 14-year-old pregnant, right? Let's say he was lied to. He's being accused for molestation, right? And somehow he still got bail and still picked up two girls who look like they're underage, right? Because they were. But it doesn't click in his head, right? To be like, oh, you know, since I'm going to court, I probably should be staying away from this kind of shit, right? But no, the fact that he kept doing it over and over again is because these pedophiles, these predators, can't control their urges, can't control their habits. That's why they keep doing it, right? So now, let's say he was lied to then again, right? And he didn't, you know, he wasn't aware of their ages and stuff like that. The fact that he married his daughter's friend while incarcerated, being so much younger than him, I mean, come on, the pattern. Look at the pattern of him liking underage girls, bro, younger females. And not only that, but his lyrics. My future wife hasn't even been born yet. You know, stuff like that, statements like that, right? Just make the connection, and you will see the pattern of how this individual is, right? That's why when people say, well, why are we talking about this if it's concerning this or what's going on right here, right now? It's because you're trying to get an understanding of the individual's character. That's why it's important to bring up all of this, because it shows a pattern of this type of behavior, right? But that's why people rather leave the other stories out when we're talking about this right here, because they know if they bring up those other things, then people will see him for who he truly is. That's why they can't, you know, afford to even bring up any of that or allow anybody to bring up anything else like that, because they know that they would look like they're fucked, because they will be fucked, because he is sick. You feel me? There will be exclusive interview of Kid Frost this weekend, you know, on American Cholo. Would they? Man, That's interesting. Tap into that. Right. Kid Frost should be ashamed of himself for a predator. I still bump Kid Frost like it or not. I'm still supporting bumping Frost music. Yeah, bro. Like I said, it's not like he's the predator, right? He could just be naive, or it could just be a financial move, for him. You know what I mean? It's not like he's the one that's actually out there, doing it, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. Supporting a predator is not the best, option, right? But at the end of the day, people can do whatever they want, you know. Like I said, he could just be thinking of it from a financial, point, right? Like, okay, he's gonna be able to generate me some money, and if he comes out, we could probably collab, and it'll bring me some type of revenue. So therefore, I'm gonna go ahead and dismiss all of this and that, right? Because they're looking after their pockets. Goes back to what I said. There is people that would, how could I say, brush stuff aside, in order to try to gain financial gain in this world, because that's what their world revolves around. Like, we can't expect just because we have morals to everybody to follow the same morals that we have, or to have the same morals that we have, right? Like, people are entitled to live and make the choices to their lives however they choose, right? Like, I don't try to hold people, to my morals, right? Because I could only worry about how I live my life and what I do with myself, right? But I'll tell you something though. That's just wrong though, in my personal opinion. There's some songs like Kid Frost. I'm just my head. Why he shouted him out? The money, my boy, the money. Yeah, and like Derek said, Kid Frost and SPM have done a lot of collaborations, a lot. And trust me, Kid Frost is kind of a weirdo himself, right? Like, he made a whole lot of comments. If you go and look back at some of those DVDs, right, where the camera follows these guys around and what they do, right? Some of those girls that these guys are hanging around with or making comments towards are kind of look, a little bit youngish, right? I don't know about you guys. I'm just like, if a girl looks like she's a kid, bro, like, I don't even know how people are even attracted to that kind of shit, bro. Like, wouldn't you want a woman, like a fully developed woman, though? Not somebody that looks like they're fucking belonging in middle school. Like, but, like I said, so everybody means their own, bro. Hey, how are you? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm great. What about yourself? Even if you were theoretically tricked by a minor to sleep with them, you're still gonna get charged because of the... Yeah, of course. Facts. Do you edge? Do you sing? No, I don't sing at all. I could try. Fa la 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 la. No. Figaro. No, but I feel you, bro. They're still gonna get charged nonetheless, right? Because it's still a crime. Like I said, bro, he just has a pattern of this type of behavior, right? And with making the same mistake, I can understand you made this mistake once, twice, 3 times. You're already pushing it, but fuck, bro. From the 13-year-old or 14, 13-year-old, whatever, getting her pregnant, right? And we already know that those are facts, right? Because DNA evidence that links to him that was his kid, right? Okay, that's 1. So now there's 9-year-old accusing him of molestation, right? So that's 2, right? So now getting out on bond and being arrested at a motel with, these 14 and, these 2 14-year-old girls is 3, right? So now 8 more other people coming out and accusing you, right? It's like, bro, you keep making the same mistake over and over and over and over again, bro, that at what point do people just be like, yeah, you know what? This fool's probably just fucking weird. You get what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about SPM here. We're not talking about fucking, Tupac or like a Biggie or fucking a Bill Clinton right here, bro. We're talking about SPM. Who? Exactly. Half of the world will say, who? Who's that? Like I said, he made good music. He rapped chingon. He had a fan base. Bro, he was not these individuals, bro. A lot of people don't know who the fuck SPM is, bro. So, for so many people to be looking to bring him down or to destroy his career, like, when a majority of people don't even know who the fuck he is, bro. He was not moving like that. He did not have it like that. Even though in his raps he says he has it like that. How many rappers Do you know that said they had it like that, and clearly had came out that they didn't have it like that? That you see a lot of them filing for bankruptcy, now. People would have said that, or look at the title back then, they would have thought Young Buck had it like that. Young Buck with 50 Cent, fucking chains everywhere, and baddest whips. People were like, damn, these fools are doing it. And these motherfuckers ain't got broke and filing for bankruptcy, and people were like, damn, what the fuck? You gonna tell me SPM was in the level of these individuals? If these individuals didn't have it like that, what made you think this individual had it like that? Come on now. He didn't have bread like that for people to be trying to, take his bread. Or like the government's trying to bring him down. Like, bro, well, who the fuck is this guy that the FBI wants him down like that, bro? Like, what grand changes was he making that they seen him as a threat? That the government's going to risk their jobs, because when you're trying to frame somebody, you are risking your job. You're risking your career. So what? And not only that, you would have to have a bunch of people on board for you to frame this individual. You would have to have a lot of people under your payroll, right? Like the DA, the judge, them lawyers, you know what I mean? The persons that brought him into the station. You would have to have a lot of people going along with this fucking charade, right? Because people are going to have questions. People are going to wonder and ask and stuff like that. So you have to make sure that it's all sealed, chingon, bro. I can understand people made mistakes back in the days, right? When the law system wasn't what it is now. So nowadays, right? That people were wrongly convicted, right? Back then. But come on now. Like, you're telling me these people are, because, doing that, framing somebody, you can go to jail. So these individuals are risking their careers and risking the chance, the potential of them getting locked up now, right? If they're caught, these DAs and, lawyers and all that are going to go to jail for setting somebody up, right? And for manipulating the justice system. So they're risking their jobs and their careers and their freedom for SPM. This is how it works in the real world. Stop watching movies. Or it's like, yeah, they're trying to frame them, and then it's like, oh, damn, they foiled our plots. Nah, bro, people are going to get fucking charged, arrested, and all that, bro. Those are serious crimes, bro. And people can't be like, no, people have been wrongly convicted and they have never gotten arrested. No. There's people that have gone into jail for trying to do that, bro. Don't give me that shit. I'm not one of these idiots that's just not going to fall back and actually do my research and actually look up shit like this. No, bro, people get arrested. Knock it off. Name a car for Eddie. Hatchback. Yep, y'all. I'm Big Pimp Magic, aka Ghost Dog. That's right. How tall are you? I'm like 5'8". I'm not that tall. I'm actually quite short. In the future, rappers will have boys in their videos. You mean they don't already? Nah. What did you think about Michael Jackson's father, bad parenting, skills joke? But you know what? It's not only him, right? But it's him that gets highlighted because of who Michael Jackson is, right? But there's so many parents throughout, right, that make these bad choices, or, put all this stress and apply all this, bad parenting to their child, bro. Not just Michael Jackson, right? We're talking about, hundreds and hundreds of kids who don't even make it, right? But just trying to push their kids to even try to make it, right? Right? They suffer from that, right? So then you have, kids who actually make it, who suffer even, worse to that, right? Like the one from Home Alone, right? If you look at his, or the kids from the iCarly shows, or the one from the Different Strokes, and all these kids who suffered a lot, bro, a lot, and their parents, we're not. Look at Britney Spears as well, right? And there's just so many other cases out there like that, right? Not just, Michael Jackson's father made that mistake, right? But a lot of people made that mistake, right? Because people are so desperate to try to, make it financially, right? They even live off of their kids, bro. And they don't give a fuck how many people, pointed out, or what they criticize them, or the relationship between them and their kid is falling apart. They don't care. All they care about is the ching, ching, ching. You know what I mean? The green. It's quite sad, bro. But a lot of rich people You see their relationship with their parents is crap, bro, or with their kids. I mean, right? Like a lot of these billionaires don't have the best relationship with their kids, right? Because they chose to just live at their work, right? That they just neglected their kids, right? They preferred making money over than spending time and building a relationship and a bond with the child, right? Because all that stuff is important, even though people out there be like, nah, well, can't the kids see that their dad's, making it big for him to have everything? Some kids, bro, like you can buy them all this shit in the world, bro. What they truly want is just to spend quality time with their parent. Like they could give a fuck if the house they're living in has 30 rooms or one room, bro, as long as they're spending time with the person that they look up to, they idolize, and they care about. They don't care for anything else in the world, bro. Because all the money in the world won't be able to buy them what they truly want, which is just a bond and connection with their parent. That's why a lot of these kids grow up, a lot of these rich kids grow up, having, bad personalities to them, bro. They're angry, they're frustrated, they're mad at the world. And people are like, why are these fucking, silver spoon motherfuckers mad at the world? They have everything, bro, because they want something that you don't have. I mean, that they don't have, right? What you have, which is a relationship with their parent. Their parent feels like they don't give a fuck about them. And all that shit is not going to be able to fucking make them change their feelings about that. They're going to resent that, bro. Much love to a real one who ain't scared to speak the truth. We need people like you in this world to speak on it, bro. Gracias, I appreciate that. I could only be me and only speak my opinions, you know what I mean? Like, how I view things. Right. Young Buck was irresponsible with his money way behind his Texas. And you know what? But Young Buck's not the only one that has lived his life like that. A lot of these people live their life like that, right? Like they forget that, yes, you got to pay taxes and all this and that plays factors, right? You see it even with like Scottie Pippen and a few other people who, just didn't balance their money out, the best ways possible, right? Like that one other basketball player, who's the one that he played for the Celtics, right? He ended up working at Starbucks. Man, what the fuck was his name? Man, I forgot that fool's name. But he ended up working at Starbucks, bro. He went from making millions to working at Starbucks, bro. Or not only him, but Michael Beasley as well, no? Even Flavor Flav, look at Flavor Flav. 50 said, help Young Buck pay his taxes. And now Young Buck, 50 money. All these jewelry that Young Buck be rocking was all rented at his car. Exactly. A lot of these people do that kind of stuff, right? Not just like Young Buck, but a lot of people do that kind of stuff, right? So it should come to no surprise when people actually, see SPM and he really wasn't making as much money as people think he was. I get it. People love this music. They jammed it in their whatever they're bumping is favorite artist. That doesn't mean that this individual had it like that, though. I get it. You would like to think that he had it like that because he's one of your favorites, right? But just because he's one of your favorites doesn't mean everything that you thought in your head was actually facts just because he's your favorite. This is a real world. This is how it really works, right? Just because this person's your favorite actor, rapper, wrestler, or anything like that doesn't mean that they have it like how you think they have it. I get it. You would like to think so, right? Because you would idolize this individual. But in the real world, that's just not how it works. Stuff is not going to go your way just because you want to make it believe like it works that way. Applying different jobs can be stressful, respectfully, when they don't call back. Yeah, but that's just how the world works. You should keep, even though, they're not calling back, you should keep, trying and trying with different jobs. You shouldn't, like I said, bro, like just because one job doesn't take you, that doesn't mean that you suck at working or that, it just means that maybe that job just wasn't for you, right? And you'll find, what you're good at. You just got to keep, hitting it, right? You just can't give up. You just got to keep trying. Does anyone know why my won't eat my? Could it be my diet? Should I try more corn? I don't know. Not a veterinarian. There's times where celebrities spend more than the maid one, bro. Homeless, yeah, bro. Like I said, they thought more of themselves than what they were actually, what they actually are, right? And sometimes, people can't let the hype, get to them, right? Like there's people that want to see their downfall, that will play the roles, play the part. People should really humble themselves, right? And not really, rush into things or really think, that highly of themselves, right? Because when you feed into egos, it never creates a good outcome. And I know a lot of people, tend to make that mistake. I see it a lot happen on the internet as well, right? Like people get blinded, or people let numbers, fool them, right? Online, right? It goes straight to their heads. Like, just because you see a lot of people viewing you doesn't mean that all those people that are viewing you actually support, or just because somebody's egging you on, right? Like feeding your ego, like, oh, you're the best channel. You doesn't necessarily make it true, right? Like people should always really just stop and humble themselves. Because like I said, there is a lot of people out there who know how manipulation works, right? And know exactly what to say and what to do in order to get people to, to derail them, pues. you know, or to start speaking reckless. But people gotta, like I said, the internet's a very deceitful place. You know, like people should really, really pay attention to what's being said online. Like, like it doesn't. I don't think that these people are actually, down with you, right? Just because they're telling you this and that, right? I see it being done a lot of times. When people are doing lives, I see it, right, and people start, their egos start to expand, right, and they can't see what people are doing to them. They start egging them on because they want them to fucking crash out, and it's like, bro, like, can't you see these people are wanting you to crash out? Because somebody that truly supports you, your movement, whatever, is not going to try to, fuel your, for you to, start doing these bad, decisions, right? That they start to not see as wrongful, right? Because they have people that are actually, telling them that they're in the right when you can clearly see that they're not. But it makes it a whole lot easier for them to crash out. And how they ask the questions, right? You can also tell, like, okay, this individual's intelligent enough that he knows what he's doing, right? You know, that's why, like, when people like troll my channel, whatever, like, I guess like I could see what they do, right? And I guess that's why they just leave, right? Because I don't respond the way that they expect me to respond, right? Or want me to respond to say, right? So they just leave. But I can see the games though. I can see the games that are played online. But if I had an ego, let's say if I had an ego, right, and I just thought this so highly of myself, right, then I wouldn't be able to see this, right? And all this shit would, just, go straight to my head, and I could see myself derailing. There's sometimes that I come and I think of it from that aspect, and I'm just like, yeah, if I was really like this, then everything would just. Because people look to test people's characters online, right? That's on the lives, right? That's why they like to tap in, right? And they like to do all of this, right? Because they really want to see people's characters and where they're truly at, right? Because there's some people, like, let's say on their videos, they come off as humble individuals or respectful and everything like that. So then people start to test their true character to really see if they really like this, right? And then to find out that, yeah, this person's not like that. He's just like the rest, right? It's funny sometimes too, though. When I'm just paying attention to all of this, right? Because it's good, right, to observe all of this just to see how human behavior works, right, with people interacting with each other. That's the best, way for you to see how human behavior works, right, or how people when they interact and what goes on and all of that. Like, if you're interested in all of that, right? I get it for those who don't really care for all that shit. I can understand why they would be like, man, fuck all this. But if you are, curious, right, tapping into people's lives is the best way to see how individuals, how it works, right? Personas and characters and all that. Um, can't celebrities sell autographs just to make money? They could, right? But eventually the hype dies out, right? Like a lot of people's support also falls on hype, right? Like people aren't maybe not truly so much fans like that, right? But they hype, they just do, they like it or pay attention to it just because everybody else is paying attention to it, right? But once that hype wave dies out, you know, that's when you see who were the true fans and who are the ones that weren't true fans, right? So a majority of that fan base tends to just leave, right? Because they're people that just, you know, jump onto wherever, you know, they see whatever's trending, right? But they're not really true supporters, right? But people, you know, don't see it like that because they think so highly of themselves, right? So they don't play those things into factor, right? Blue Devil just fitted in the t-shirt. Oh my upside dead. Yeah, I seen that too. But he's an entertainer, right? He does it because he knows he's gonna get clicks and he's gonna get people talking, and but you know, he does it for just, you know, the views and stuff like that. But he said, see, the thing is why I can't, you know, the thing is why I could tap into Blue Devil, right? And why, you know, even though he does all this and that, right, why I could still tune into him is that he tells you at least what he's doing, though. Like he tells you, yeah, I know, I put that just because it's gonna get people to click on it. He's literally telling you why he does what he does, bro. And I can't be mad at him for doing what he does, right? If he's telling you that this is the reason why he's doing it, right? He's not lying. I mean, he's telling you he does it because he knows it gets people to click, and you know, it's clickbait, bro. But he's telling you that. So he's not like saying like, nah, I'm not doing it for this. He's literally telling you, bro, that he does it for this and this reason, bro. So it's like if people tap in, they're already aware what he does and why he does what he does, bro. He's not trying to keep it from you. He's letting you know. So I can only respect an individual for at least being honest, bro. Like this fool's telling you why he does it, bro. So now if people still tune in, then they know what they're tuning in for. Like, because he's not lying to you. Right? Because he knows it's going to get people talking and stuff like that, because it does. But I'm telling you, at least he's telling you, you know, that's the reason why he does it. Compared to somebody who's, you know, trying to play like this role that he's this, you know, humble individual that, you know, this and that, bro, when they're full of shit, right? This individual at least is telling you, yeah, bro, I play all these games because this and that. Hey, he's letting you know, bro, can't be mad at him for that. You get what I'm saying? Because he literally has said it a lot of times, bro. So I got to respect the honesty. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my time's up. We got to get back to it. We out.